Hey guys, this is Miss Aspinwall. This is my first time trying to do this, so we're going to see how it goes. Today we're going to be talking about figurative language, and figurative language is used in all your stories, your books, your short stories, anything that you read that's fiction. You will be coming across figurative language. You've been doing this probably since second, third grade, so most of this will be a review, but I think it will be a good review. We'll hit a few today: similes, metaphors. We'll be talking about hyperboles, idioms, automatopoeia, just a lot of different things. But for today, let's just start out by watching this vocabulary. Let's see, we can go and we can watch the video.
Old soul and MC who wants to be the next to blow. Imagine he's in a dark room in Manhattan, scrapping, scribbling on napkins, trying to make a living off rapping, but skills he lacked them. Nobody thought that it would happen until one day Will switches his style, gets deep in his wordplay, gets witty and wild. He used to sound so embarrassing. Now people the metaphors and comparisons. His life is a highway, but he confessed he has a plan but needs a GPS. He's using references and illusions, a lyrical Houdini, creating illusions. Dolphins in 72, he won't lose. Up by the first alarm, he's not snoozing. You'll be amazed by every phrase. He will come correct with the wordplay, literal lines that block his way. He will come correct with the wordplay. You'll be amazed by every phrase. He will come correct with the wordplay, literal lines that block his way. He will come correct with the wordplay. Comparing with like or as, he's dropping similes, taking little steps like a centipede. He's sharp like a laser, sharp as a razor. In a night as dark as Darth Vader, Duke and Juke and adjust his position, contrasting two things in juxtaposition, from weak to made, cheap to paid, a creep to a dude who leads the way, using personification. What's he doing? Making objects and animals seem human. The moon smiles as the city breathes. He can feel the heartbeat of the city streets. A live show, you really ought to see it. Will drop some onomatopoeia, words that sound like what they describe. Now the crowd's buzzing, it's live. You'll be amazed by every phrase. He will come correct with the wordplay, literal lines that block his way. He will come correct with the wordplay. You'll be amazed by every phrase. He will come correct with the wordplay, literal lines that block his way. He will come correct with the wordplay. Will he exaggerate? Use hyperbole? He's the best ever at it. So certainly, with assonance, vowel sounds he's repeating. He seems the least beat in any season. His fans are legion. All the boneheads who bring beef leave with lots of lyrical lesions. That's alliteration. Same sound sentence. It's common sense. He's calm with the confidence. Using irony, opposite meaning. His lines hit as soft as iron. Believe him. Good with the puns and the wordplay. Oh my, going deep in double meanings like they were a coal mine. Will skills are sick like ERs. You heard of this? Get hit and you'll see stars like Copernicus. If you only have one chance to shine, you better get up, get out, and go wild.
All right, that was a brief overview of a lot of different things. Of course, we won't be talking about every single one of those things today, but let's move on and go from there. All right, first thing we want to talk about are similes and metaphors. These are your basic things that you've been talking about since second grade. Of course, similes are when two things are compared using like or as. You've got sweet as a honeybee, roar like a lion. If you notice, you've got like or as. Sweet as a honeybee. We're comparing someone to a honeybee. Roar like a lion. You've got like. We're comparing someone's roaring like a lion. Someone's being compared to a lion using like or as. Again, those are similes. And then you have metaphors. A metaphor compares two or more unlike things without using the words like or as. Um, Instead of over here, I could say, instead of saying she is sweet as a honeybee, I would just say she is a honeybee. Here's an example of a metaphor. She is the apple of my eye. A metaphor takes a direct comparison. It says that one thing is something else. So similes use like or as to make a comparison. A metaphor compares two things and says that one thing is another thing, but you don't use like or as. All right, let's watch a quick little vocabulary on similes and metaphors.
Christina was walking home by herself after babysitting. The night was dark. She walked by a cornfield. The crickets made sounds. Eyes glowed from the cornstalks. What? This sounds like a good story. Yeah? I'm gonna let you finish. Okay. But these lines are boring. Really? They're not vivid enough. Huh. We need to make this come to life with some similes and metaphors. Okay. Got a story laying flat on the page. Want it to come to life like a play on the stage. Describe using metaphors and similes, writing vivid stories will be a breeze. A similes, a figure of speech, using like or as to compare different things. A metaphor compares things to without like or as. Don't get them confused. Now let's rewrite that story from before, but this time let's use similes and metaphors. Take this line. The night was dark. That's written simply, without much spark. Let's add a metaphor. I'm on this. The night was a cave of darkness. Now the night isn't actually a cave, but that line is more vivid on the page. It's a metaphor I didn't use like or as. Now let's add a simile, lightning fast. The crickets made sounds. That line is really boring. How about the crickets were like an eerie symphony? See the word like? That's a simile. They don't have to make your lines frightening, but they'll improve your writing fast as lightning. Compare things with a metaphor. Metaphors are a home run, yeah, for sure. Use like or as for a simile. That definition's like glass. It's clear to me. Compare things with a metaphor. Metaphors are a home run, yeah, for sure. Use like or as for a simile. That definition's like glass. It's clear to me. These tools might seem easy to swallow, but there are some rules you need to follow. Compare so your readers will understand. Get it together like a rubber band. For instance, here's a simile not to use. The eyes glowed like my sister's shoes. That doesn't work. We don't know what they look like. So that simile has gotta take a hike and make sure it matches the story's tone, or else it won't work like a broken phone. Our story is scary, so our simile should match. Silly similes might make the reader laugh. Like the cricket sounded like a monkey doing math. That's random. Similes and metaphors are puppies and cats. People love them. How many did you catch in this rap? Compare things with a metaphor. Metaphors are a home run, yeah, for sure. Use like or as for a simile. That definition's like glass. It's clear to me. Compare things with a metaphor. Metaphors are a home run, yeah, for sure. Use like or as for a simile. That definition's like glass. It's clear to me.
All right, so now we've watched that little vocabulary review on similes and metaphors. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's look at some similes. Her heart is like gold. We're comparing someone's heart to gold, but we use the word like. So that makes it a simile. Makes it, we're comparing two things by using like. Now let's make this into a metaphor. Her heart is gold. I'm still comparing her heart and gold, but I didn't use like or as. If I have like or as, it's a simile. If I don't, it's a metaphor. Look at this next sentence. You are as sweet as an angel. I'm comparing you to an angel, but it's a simile because I use the word as. How can I make this a metaphor? Think for just a second. How about you are a sweet angel? I'm comparing you to a sweet angel, but I didn't use like or as. Over here, you're as sweet as an angel. I'm comparing you to a sweet angel, but I'm using the words as. Metaphor, I didn't. Try this one. Life is like a box of chocolates. I'm comparing life to a box of chocolates using the word like. How can I make that a metaphor? Life is a box of chocolates. I'm still comparing life to a box of chocolates, but I didn't use like or as. The typical teenage boy's room is like a disaster area. I'm comparing the teenage room, could be a girl's too, but we're going to say boys for today, to a disaster area using the word like. I'm comparing the boys' room to a disaster area using like. How can I make it a metaphor? The typical teenage boy's room is a disaster area. Again, I'm comparing the teenage boy's room to a disaster area, but I'm just saying it is. So if you notice, similes use like or as, metaphors say something is something else. You are something. Life is. Boys is. The boy's room is. Last one. My boyfriend is like my knight in shining armor. I'm comparing my boyfriend to a knight in shining armor using the word like. How can I make that a metaphor? My boyfriend is my knight in shining armor. Means the same thing. I'm comparing boyfriend to knight in shining armor. However, I didn't use like or as, so this is now a metaphor. So again, let's review. Similes use like or as to compare two things. A metaphor compares two things, but it just says something is something else. Boyfriend is knight in shining armor. Life is a box of chocolate. You are an angel.